Hi, I'm Jamie Goddard, former hooker for the Gold Coast Chargers, Seagulls, North Sydney Bears, Northern Eagles and 4 State of Origin games for Queensland. Yeah, so Man Eisen of the Gold Coast, I only started playing league when I was 13. Good friend of mine and still a great mate of mine, Kev Campion, was going to the club as well. Yeah, it was a pretty easy transition. You know, we were 2 young blokes from North Queensland living in Gold Coast, although we did think it was the big smoke. I slept with a copper log like this and Campo had a pocket knife like this, and we thought we were going to get broken into a mug, and we're living at Tweed, so fair income. Not really the big city. From there we then went on to the Chargers. Phil Economides was the coach, and we had a bit of success in those years when Phil was coaching us. The Chargers were basically a sacrificial lamb. It was part of the merger back with the Super League clubs. During the times of when the Chargers was getting wound up, it was pretty emotional for a lot of guys, you know. Basically, your employment stopped there and then, and guys had families and mortgages on the Gold Coast, and that was taken away from them, so it was tough times.
Discipline's what win your games, and early in that first half, we weren't completing our sets of 6, and you can't win a game without the ball. Yeah,
so in 1999 I come down and played for North Sydney. Benny Eichen and he's a good mate of mine still, and Benny Eichen was at the club. Gary Larson, Billy Moore. We had a young kid at the time who was 16, bald head, used to rub on his head. Mark O'Mealy, mate, one of the toughest, well, definitely the toughest kid I've ever played with. He was turning 17 that year, and to come in as a first grade front rower like he did, he was inspirational. You know, when I got named starting hooker in the State of Origin after basically 5 years of moving from Mount Isa, it was incredible. I was that bloody happy. In the '97 series, Joey Johns was the hooker that year, and he was killing us. The first 2 games, he's now the 8th immortal. So we had pretty clear instructions to make sure we looked after Joey, both on and off the ball. So before that actual scrum, Joey and I had a little bit of a tussle on the ground. He hit me late, and then I took offence to that, but we packed into the scrum, and as we were going to the scrum, we knew it was going to be on.
They come up out of the scrum, and Mark Carroll is throwing them. Andrew Johns is looking for Goddard.
Mark Carroll punched Craig Smith. Craig Smith crumbled like a poor bastard. He just got on, and then it just erupted from there. So Joey and I obviously had a bit of a tussle and got broke up, and then he come again, and yeah, it was one of those things, just a lucky punch, I guess.
The toe, he's landed it right on the pecker.
After the game, you know, we shook hands, had a beer. His lip was hanging down near his chin, and we swapped jerseys. I've still got his jersey, and last year we had Matty Johns come up and do a fundraiser for us, and obviously he brought it up about bashing his brother and how much he loved it, because Matty's always putting dirt on Joey. But and I always say, I said, look, I'd rather have half the ability and half of Joey's career than that. You know, it was 2 seconds or 15 seconds, but I get a little bit embarrassed about it, but it's there and you can't really do anything about it now. So yeah.